King.
They want to take away your right to vote for senator and give illegals the right to vote. Not sure how that makes America more democratic. And after democracy, capitalism's got to go.
Is democratic socialism compatible with capitalism?
In the long term, no. We're anti-capitalist. We want a world beyond capitalism.
So what does a world beyond capitalism look like? The government controls everything, like supermarkets.
How would you feel if the government opened a big grocery store right next to your bodega?
If one publicly owned grocery store that brings prices down in the neighborhood is enough to put someone out of business, then maybe they shouldn't have been in that business in the first place.
What about apartments? Should those be free? Yeah. First step, get rid of the people who own the building.
Whether that's like sending a demand letter with like fancy legalese so your landlord takes you seriously, or like writing really bad Yelp reviews of like his stupid flower business, or like crashing his wedding or his kid's wedding, or, going to his house.
That's Tracy. She lives in LA. Not a big fan of private property. See what's going on here? They're coming for the landlords, the doctors, the cops, ICE, but they're making nice with prisoners. They're on the same side as MS-13 and Hamas. Maybe I was wrong about Ashley. Maybe. They are our worst nightmare. Caroline Sunshine, a Republican strategist. Caroline, did you enjoy that main debate?
Jesse, am I being punked right now? Like, is this a joke?
No.
Was that real?
That
was real?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very real.
I didn't realize that I was watching an episode of Glee instead of a Senate Democrat primary race. But you know what? This is what happens when the Democrats after 2024 were like, we have a masculinity problem. So then they took the one masculine guy that they had who won his primary. What did they do? They Me Too'd him. Like you said, they Me Too'd him. Every man's worst fear. And then the party that says we're not racist pushed a black woman aside in their Texas primary to pick a guy that is a political consultant's idea of a regular white dude, but a regular white dude's idea of a weirdo that you would never bring around your wife and kids.
Right. Talafrico.
And it's like, Talafrico, we always talk about being on the side of, 80-20 issues, right? And this is the end game of what happens when you denigrate masculinity, when you overemphasize feminism, when you denigrate law and order, when you denigrate patriotism. You're left with the 20 side of every 80-20 issue. And all of these candidates, they are the 20% of the 80-20 side. This is what you're left with.
We're noticing it's a lot of female candidates. Some of them are men in dresses, but some of them are men. The male ones get Me Too'd, but the other men are kind of beta. Why do you think this new movement is so female?
My first question is, what's with the glasses? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like all the women, they all wear these odd glasses. They're all the same. It's like these glasses that are like, I don't know what the statement is here. I personally like to dress in a way that says, yes, I am a woman. I don't know what these glasses are about. It's like intentionally designed to take you from like a 7 or an 8 down to a 4. Like I don't know what we're proving here. But I have always said, strong men create good times and weak men create hard times. And I think the Democrat Party has overemphasized just emasculating men and denigrating masculinity. And it's left us with women who wear odd glasses, who should have just stayed theater majors at NYU and now think that they need to run for office and perpetuate their theater kid syndrome onto the U.S. government. And weak men create hard times.
And isn't it odd that they got rid of the men and replaced it with communism? Like communism is taking the place of strong men. Like the government will take care of you, or or women will take care of you. I don't get that.
Exactly. Well, I do, because I think that was part of the plan. I think that if you have strong men, it's a lot harder to push communism. So you have to kind of get rid of the strong men. You have to break the strong men. But you know what? All the strong men came to my side, came to our side. There's a lot of strong men out there. They're just not on the Democrat side. And I actually, 2028 is going to be the first election where Gen Z and millennials combined are going to be the largest part of the electorate. They're going to supersede the boomer generation for the first time as the largest part. And that's something I'm trying to tell everybody on our side of the aisle, because I think it'll be the driving force. And we've had these young men who are just looking for leadership. They're hungry for patriotism. They want to be where the strong men are, and I want them to stay with us, because strong men create good times, And the strong men will lead the women. They'll lead the younger women along. 100%. That's why I say, strong men create good times. And the communists want to make sure they denigrate masculinity so that those men can't hold the line. But I know so many great men, I'm sure as do you, who are funny and strong and patriotic. So many of them in our military, so many of them outside of our military. These are good men. And there's a lot of good men in Gen Z, but they're intentionally not depicted in media. They're intentionally denigrated in the media because the communists and the socialists don't want people to see strong men, because strong men would denigrate their narrative.
You're absolutely
all my
right.
strong men out there, we love you. Keep it up.
We love you. We absolutely love. And you know what? We love Ashley too. And if she can go to the bathroom in the men's room, I will not assault her. I may do a double take, but I will not assault you, Ashley. You're welcome in the men's room whenever you want, because you are a man. I
still think you're punking me. This is crazy.
This is real. This is too real. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.